I tried to shut the blinds. And like the blinds we have is not like blackout blinds, curtains. It's really just to kind of like
The filter blinds.
ambiance, right? The filter is, but the
Yeah.
way this sun is directly like so the house that's out this window is like starting to go behind that house a little bit, but it's like perfectly going in between the top of kind of like the
The,
blind between the top of the blind. I don't know how to describe it. I'll put a picture up maybe. So give me about 10 minutes. We'll be good. We'll be Gucci.
will be Gucci.
All right, community. We actually do have an Ask Yo Aunteas this week for the holidays, and so what
Yes.
time is it? Ask
Ask
your
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 auntie.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell.
Um, and this one, like, so when I was just looking up stuff to talk about holiday wise, I saw this question pop up on the internet. So this is not one the community sent in, but I was like, ooh, let's talk about this one because I don't know. So it says, my brother and I are really close, and he just told me he has been having an affair and wants to leave his marriage. But first, he wants to fly 3,000 miles with his wife and my two beloved sons, or my two beloved nephews, to spend one last Christmas as a family at our house. If I say yes, I'm a complicit liar. If I say no, I'm a terrible sister. What do I do?
I'll start first, and I can't tell you how to feel, but this is also your brother and your family, and if they want to spend time at your house, then I think that can happen. But I think it warrants a conversation around, like what those conversations could potentially look like if they're spending time at your place, because that could be quite awkward. So that if something comes up about whatever that you feel like you would be put in a position where you have to lie, I think you need to have a conversation with your brother about what you're willing and not willing to do. And if the brother is, whatever your brother is doing, um, and you don't want to be um, complicit into perpetuating stories or lying on behalf of your brother, that's one thing. Um, so I would say, if the question is, do I have them come or not? I would say have them come, spend time with your family, because who knows, things could turn around.
Yeah, yeah,
Things could absolutely turn around. You just don't know. And if you value the time with your family, spend the time with your family. Just be clear with your brother, that there are certain things that you will not do on his behalf. It doesn't mean you don't love them, and it doesn't mean that you don't, cherish the relationship. And it doesn't mean that, blood is not thicker than water, but if honesty and integrity is something that you value, then you can say, listen, I'm not going to lie on your behalf. So if there's a conversation that comes up, I'm going to either excuse myself out of the conversation, or, I'm going to tell the truth or speak what I know. Um, but that would be my advice. Spend time with your family.
Jarrell.
I guess like for me, it kind of depends, similar to what Dewan's saying. Like, it depends on the conversations that's going to be had. Like, honestly, like if that conversation isn't going to be really brought up around the holidays while y'all are together, then I mean, don't spend time with your family. Like, you don't have to insert yourself into their situation. So I would say try not to feel like you need to tell him what to do in his marriage and in his relationship. Like, don't cross that line, but just make sure you draw the line of saying, hey, like, if everyone's going to come to my place, this is the vibe, this is the energy, this is how we're going to do things. And if that's not what you're bringing, then stay your ass at home. But if they can follow those rules, then come on over. And honestly, I feel like that's how it should always be, no matter who house, or whoever come to your house. Make sure they abide by your rules and how you want things to happen in your own home. Um, so if he is like, yo, I mean, I ain't leaving her on Christmas Day, well then, all right, cool then
Bake
come
that
on
pie.
over. Okay. Right. Um, but I understand though, feeling kind of bad because like it's the holiday season, and then you also have an affair, and you being a fuck nigga, on the side. Like, it's kind of fucked up, you know. But I would not have that conversation around the holidays. Even if you feel some kind of way about it, I would wait till after the holidays to then say that and be like, hey, going forward, this shit ain't flying no more. You need to figure out what's going on in your life and your own home and your own marriage, and keep my ass out of it. I'm trying to protect my peace, and that's what. And to protect my peace, I gotta say,
Yeah.
it's a no for me.
Yeah, no, I'm with you guys, and it's kind of odd that he told you this. like, I get the closeness and everything. That's awesome. That I guess you're that close that those conversations are had. I guess honestly, that's what you want out of any relationship is just the pure honesty. But damn, right before the holidays and we trying to eat and everything, and now I got this on me, and now I feel selfish because now I want like my last hurrah with my nephews and family, how it is. Like that's a lot to put on someone right before the holidays. Before like, so that sucks, and that shows that your brother kind of selfish. And now it's put you in a situation where you got to be selfish for, like you said, your own peace and things like that to enjoy the holidays you want to, and now you're gonna be tiptoeing in them J's around the holiday. Yeah, no, that's crazy. But I think you all nailed it. It's just like I would probably have the conversation up front before y'all get here. Don't be bringing no bullshit. Don't be doing shit that's gonna make it awkward for me now to have to decide between my brother and me trying to be a stand-up human being. And once you kind of get that off your chest, enjoy the holidays, like Jarrell and Dewan said. Enjoy what you can. You don't know the situation. Maybe your brother will have a moment saying, "No, I value my family way more than the affair I'm having," and things might change, and he might realize that during the holidays and things like that. I don't know, but don't insert yourself where you don't need to be right now because it's not the time of the year to do so. Because for some folks, the holidays is more triggering than anything. A lot of times, for me, I enjoy the holidays. I genuinely do. I love the festivity. I love holiday music. I love it all. I love my family, etc. But not. I also realize not everyone has that situation. And so this might be a triggering something for the wife. It might be a triggering for something for the nephews. You just don't know what you don't know. So I wouldn't insert yourself into something that don't need to be inserted into just to prove your point that you're a stand-up human being. That I wouldn't take that approach. So
that is a very complicated. That's a very complicated
order.
Situation because I feel like, and everybody's different in the context of their relationships. I've always taken or at least I try as much as possible to take the perspective of I don't involve other people in my relationship stuff until it is done. Like if I'm trying to figure some shit out or whatever, or I'm dealing with some stuff, I try to deal with that as best I can on my own. Or with like a therapist or something like that, somebody that's not invested in the relationships, because people like relationships can go back and forth, and once you taint the picture of your partner a certain way to someone else, and then you've forgiven them, or you see them differently, or you've gotten past it, those other people that got that story about this, that, and the other, and the things that they did, that picture has not gone away for them. And so it makes it really challenging. And I get, like, I'm super close with my sister and we talk about a lot of things, but we don't as much talk about the interdynamics of relationships unless it's like very general kind of stuff. For that, I mean, I've seen people come and go in her life. She's seen people come and go in my life. And it puts, by putting that information on your sister or your mother or whomever about the person that you're with, and you haven't made a decision. Like, it's one thing to say, okay, I just want to let you know, sis, we have decided to end our marriage, but for the sake of our children, we don't want to, overshadow the holidays with the news that we're separating. So we want to have one last holiday together. I'm just letting you know that we already had this conversation. We're cool with the decision. Yes, it's unfortunate, but after the holidays, then we're going to go ahead and go with the proceedings. But I just want to let you, that is a very different thing than somebody saying, oh yeah, by the way, I'm messing with this chick over here, she don't even know about it, I'm gonna leave her ass after the holidays, but hey, what do you want me to bring to the holiday? Like that's a very different right, that's a very different. And I get like, oh yeah, we being open and transparent, but also you have to be responsible with the information you're sharing with the people that you care about, and not ensure that you're not putting them in an awkward position. And I feel like this is putting the sister in an awkward position that she didn't ask for. Who's to say that she and the sister don't get along? And the wife does something like, she criticizes, like she'll criticize a table setting, or she brings like a, mac and cheese with like
this year.
Right. And there's and you know what ain't gonna be hitting too?
Well, guess what?
Like, don't let there be some spiked eggnog and the wife then say some slick shit, and then
then the sister then be like, well, while you talking about my home, let's talking about your
let's tell you what I'm talking about, mama.
That's some real shit.
That is some real
shit. But I feel like people mistake being transparent and being close with not having boundaries. And you can be really close but have boundaries, especially with what you share and how you share it with people that are close to you, that also have. It'll be a different story if like your sister didn't know your wife or whatever, but if there are relationships that are involved, even if those relationships are through you got to do better.
That's real. That's real. So enjoy that apple pie. Enjoy that sweet potato pie, them cookies, that ham, the mashed potatoes, that dressing, that
them greens, them green beans.
Honey, green
come on.
Potato, banana, you name it. Enjoy that, and honestly, I would also give the advice, even after the holidays, don't insert yourself where you don't need to be. Let your brother do that shit. Like, and I won't even bring it up. Like, are you still having that affair? Or you gonna leave? Like, don't. I personally like, let your brother deal with that shit. And I get that now. You just hope it doesn't come back, but like, and you knew this whole time. Like, I hope he doesn't put you in that situation. Then that's when you might have to throw your brother underneath that damn bus. But like,
oh, you doing the bending,
right? So, but yeah, that's a tough one. So yeah, when I saw that question, I was like, damn. so even though people, go ahead.
Just real quick, are there people in your lives that you are this degree of transparent with outside of your partner? Is there anybody are there people in your lives that you're that transparent with? We all have different relationships with people.
No, I don't think so. I don't think there's anyone. I'm trying to think outside of Corey. Would I tell? I don't think. Maybe my sister. I'm trying to think. My brother. Like, I don't think to this degree. I don't think I would call them up and say, "Guess what? I'm having an affair and I'm leaving Corey."
What you want me to bring in Christmas?
Right? No.
No. What about you, Dro? Are there people in your life that you're this degree of transparent with? Like, you tell them everything.
Yeah, Paul, my best friend Paul in Chicago. He's one person that like I tell everything. We talk. I mean, we're just so close. And he's really just been there for me a lot, especially in my 20s when I could have been in some bad places, been in some bad situations and stuff like that. And so we've been there for each other. So yeah, he was someone I would yeah. And honestly, I would probably say something to y'all too.
That's what I was thinking too. I was like, what I tell
y'all? And honestly, yeah, and honestly, I would say I would tell y'all too. One, just because I know that like if I'm missing the facts, and I'm gonna get the rest of the facts from y'all. I know y'all gonna help me make a wiser decision and be like, all right, actually, Jarrell, okay, you fucked up. You should have thought about this. How, like, y'all would help me
Yeah.
level out myself because, I'm a very black and white person. And
Mhm.
so I think you two would help bring something out of me that a perspective that I've never would have thought of. So I definitely would say something to you two as well. Yeah. But other than that, honestly, I ain't saying nothing to anyone else because I feel like
Mhm.
everyone, kind of to Dewan's point, sometimes like, people would make their will have their own issues, or they may feel inserted
Right.
into the situation and stuff like that too. And I know because y'all have your own relationship with Fizz, I know y'all would not. Y'all would
Yeah.
be able to just be like, all right, I'm gonna talk to you, my sis.
Yeah.
And I
Mhm.
know him, so like I also can what I
Empathize with the
right, because
totality
I
of
Right.
it.
and I feel like y'all would understand where I would be coming from because y'all have a relationship with him, so y'all could be
Right.
like, all right, I can see him doing something like this or whatever the
Right. Right.
case is and
Mhm.
stuff like that too. So I wouldn't insert anyone who does not know him
That part.
Got it. Okay.
because
That's a
I
real
because
thing.
I
Yeah.
because I don't want someone to play favoritism because some friends will be like, oh yeah, you right, bitch, da, 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 and you could be
Yeah.
wrong as hell,
Right.
and you gotta
Gassing you
watch
all
out
the
for the
way up.
right,
Right. Yep.
right, exactly, and you two
Gas
and
you up out
Paul
of your relationship.
literally, and then swoop
Whole
in
word.
and be like,
Right.
oh well, you said you didn't want.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
And I
Yeah.
think folks within, especially if you're in a relationship, understand the emotional
Mm-hmm.
ebbs and flows of being in a relationship. You
Yeah,
might have caught me on a day where I'm just heated,
that part.
Yes.
Yeah.
crack voice and all,
Oh,
but just heated, and and especially out of a lot of folks, you two, and there's one other person that I'm thinking of that I know I have gone to other times too. Now I'm thinking out loud that are just in relationships and they get the ebbs and flows, the dynamics, and things like that,
mhm.
and you would be able to speak about it. Like it's like, okay, Kara, I know you was just hyped up that week and chalk it up to just being
Yeah.
emotional or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Not everyone gets that, and I think we talked about this. This was just another, obviously, best of moment that we'll get into next week. But this year, I think one of the questions was just like, do we call certain people besties or something like that, or we know how to go
Mhm.
to certain people for certain things, of like,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just the relationship dynamic, and it is what it is. I can't
Yeah.
remember if that was on here, if that was us on someone else's podcast. Anyway,
That was us.
That was
um,
us.
Yeah.
but it's just like you two get that dynamic as well, and this other person I'm thinking in my head, that even outside of like my brother and sister, even though they're in their own relationships, would be a little different dynamic, just because just being gay and then being in interracial relationships and things like that, that not everyone gets that part of it too, so I don't want people to be listening to like, well, Kara, I thought you come to me. That's not the
Yeah.
dynamic we have other dynamics that I go to you
Yeah.
specifically
Right.
for.
Yeah.
So don't
Yeah.
get
And that's
it. Don't get in your
important.
feelings
Yeah.
about it. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
go to you for certain things that I don't go to Jerome Dewan and my brother says blah 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 blah. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah,
Yeah.
but even to this dynamic, to this degree, saying to tell someone that I'm having an affair and then I'm going to leave somebody, if it ain't y'all, I don't know who it would
Yeah.
be.
Honestly,
Yeah.
if it ain't y'all,
Mm.
because look, because I know y'all gonna ask
Anytime.
the questions. Who it is? Let me see a
Yeah,
picture. What that dick do?
right,
Like y'all asking. Look,
right,
y'all be like, I want it to make sense.
right. It's like houseway.
I feel like the times that I've talked about things in the context of like my relationships, um, I've learned early on, and I've got burned on both sides of this,
Yeah,
both, of, being privy to information about somebody else and then that burning me, and fracturing that relationship, and they still
yeah,
together. They still together.
yeah, yeah,
And on the other end of it, so like, about sharing, and then that me sharing something about about my previous relationship, and then it coming to bite me in the end. And I just those are really hard lessons to learn. And
yeah.
one of the things that I took from that is, if I'm going to talk to somebody, because there have been things that I've shared with each of you, that I've shared with my best friend Milos, or my best friend, Rashad, like there are things that I've shared with people that are closest to me, um, that are about my shit,
Yeah.
not
Mhm.
the person that I'm with, not them.
Right.
Like, I'm not shading
Right.
them. I'm saying okay, this is what happened. I'm pissed about it, or I've been fucked up, or I think I fucked up. Am I missing something? Like, that's one
Yes.
thing. But this is not that.
No.
This is
Mhm.
not that. This is not like, oh yeah, I screwed around and got caught up in a
Right.
entanglement.
Right. Complicated order.
Right. And now I'm trying to figure it out, versus, like, hey, I did something, to my wife, and I'm still trying to figure out how do I, how do I recover from this? How do I make it right? What do I, please tell me what you see in me that's leading me, because maybe there's a blind spot. Like, that's one part of a conversation, but this
I've
is
been having an
something.
affair
This is
and I'm leaving.
destructive. This is destructive information.
Whew, it's like, damn, can I just get a present, eat some good food? It's like, shit, I done made it to the end of the year, work crazy, and then you dropping this on me? Fuck.
Right.
Damn, I can't get no peace. Joy and peace this holiday season. So
I think at the end of the day, for the
that
for
it
the
wasn't a
sister,
community
though,
question.
for the sister, though, I would honestly be just like, you have to do what your heart is telling you in this case. There's no right or wrong answer. You have to do what you feel is best for you and your own sanity and in your gut, because can't nobody else tell you that. But that's a shitty situation. I don't care how close you all are. This is a shitty situation that your brother has now brought you into.
Like,
Under the
shit,
guise that you have in a close relationship.
It's like that Nene.
Why do I need to know this information?
Like, shit, I didn't even say you bringing my name. I ain't even said nothing over here.
Friday night, you and your boys went out to eat.
Honey.
Mm-hmm.
So you ask your auntie questions to AYA at minoritetyreport.com or DM us.